Hello, I'm Andrew Shapland, one of the Ashmolean's curators, currently working from home. And this rather strange looking pot is currently sitting in the dark in the Ashmolean's Aegean Gallery, waiting for the lights to come on when we reopen to the public again. And I've chosen to talk about this particular pot because its original function was to bring light into the darkness. As you can see from the picture, it has a round knobbly body with lots of holes pierced in it, 3 legs and a handle. It's made of rough clay and was left unpainted. Archaeologists call pots like these braziers because they think that they were originally designed to contain either an oil lamp or another source of fire. They're found almost exclusively on the island of Rhodes, now part of Greece, and were buried in tombs over 3,000 years ago in what's called the Bronze Age. This one dates to around 1300 BC. You can often tell when an object in a museum has been in a tomb because it's complete. It was sealed away until it was discovered again all those years later. This one was excavated in the 19th century by a man called Sir Alfred Bilioti, who was the British Vice-Consul on Rhodes. That meant that his job was to protect Britain's trading interests in that part of the Mediterranean. But he also excavated tombs to supplement his income, sometimes on behalf of the British Museum, which holds a large collection from his excavations at a site called Yalissos, and sometimes on his own behalf. He sold this brazier to an archaeologist called Maurice Thompson, who donated it to the Ashmolean Museum in 1910. Some of the tombs Alfred Bilioti excavated contained imported luxury goods, carved ivory, necklaces of gold, carnelian and glass, and imported painted pottery from mainland Greece. But these braziers were made on the island of Rhodes, and unlike the other grave goods, they were designed primarily for the living rather than the dead. When someone died in Rhodes at that time, and they came from certain families, they were buried in what archaeologists call chamber tombs, because they're like a room carved into a stone hillside, accessed through an entrance passage. These chamber tombs weren't very big, maybe 2 meters square, and if you can imagine, they were quite dark and maybe smelly if another member of the family had been buried in them previously. Often you get more than one burial in these tombs. The brazier then was a source of light for those whose job it was to lay out the corpse of their loved one. Maybe it was also used to burn aromatic plants too. Looking at this object, you can imagine someone carrying it along the narrow passage, going from the bright Mediterranean sunlight into the darkness of the tomb, holding it by the handle so that their fingers didn't get burnt, and setting it down in the corner to illuminate the small space. We know from some of the vessels in the tombs that an important part of the burial ritual involved perfumed oil, used to anoint the body or the burial clothing, and then once the ritual was finished, the entrance to the tomb was walled up with stones and the passage filled with earth. And objects like this remind us of the people left behind when that was done, who had temporarily brought light into the dark chamber and left the brazier where it stood as they said their last goodbyes. Not every object in the Ashmolean is a work of art. Some take us back thousands of years to a particular time and place, but an event that we can all relate to, even if we have our own different ways of dealing with death. And even though we'll never know the names of the people who used this object, it sheds a different sort of light now on our knowledge of the way people treated their dead in Bronze Age Greece.